So, Ben, thanks again for taking the time to speak with Movers and Shakers Unlimited.
Pleasure.
I'll start first by, just talking about just the path that you've had, as an actor, to Derailed, because I know you've been a journeyman. You've had a chance to do a lot of various things, and and doing a little bit of research, I understand that you were born and raised in New York, and I find that interesting because you went to the West Coast, but speaking as someone who's familiar with the industry, I know that there's plenty of opportunities in New York. So
Yeah.
why the move, why the migration?
Well, yeah, it's a good question. Because I was never an act when I was in New York growing up. I was never an actor, nor did I aspire to be. Um, it kind of something that happened. I moved out to LA because I got an opportunity to work in production on Californication. My uncle is an actor and was on the show then, and I kind of wanted to get out of New York, do something different. So I, packed up all my bags, moved to LA. Pretty much immediately started working, on the production side in the office, a little bit on set, on Californication, which was a great experience. I did that for like a year, and then I worked on another show. And like I said, my uncle was an actor, and I was like kind of curious about, what it was, and a little bit, definitely approached it with a lot of trepidation. It wasn't something that I was like, oh, I got to do this, but I was intrigued. So he told me I should train at the school that he trained at, 20 years ago. And I started training in like the low beginner level, how to be an actor, and it kind of took off from there. And the rest is history, as they
Say, sure. So with that in mind, considering that background, as a PA, do you feel that has, given you a perspective of that, of the, process, whether it's with, television or with film, that perhaps, other actors may not have like an insight for or
Yeah,
understanding?
yeah, maybe. I mean, now especially, as an actor, as somebody in the industry, writer, producer, director, you're encouraged and able to more and more do your own thing. So I think a lot of people who are trying, aspiring to be artists in this business are very multifaceted and produce, direct, write, all that kind of things, all those kinds of things that wasn't able, you weren't really able to do, say 20 years ago. But that being said, working on a big professional set like that, you're kind of humbled by how big of a operation it is, and how much of a teamwork kind of a thing. And there are so many moving parts, and you're just one of them. So you, at the end of the day, you just got to do your job as an actor, as a PA, whatever it is.
All right, awesome. Now, in speaking with about the projects that you've done before with PD, and now with Derailed, would you say that doing, because that's obviously quite different, of something that's a lot more grounded versus something that's a little has a little more spectacle and
Sure.
fantasy element involved?
Mm-hmm.
Would you say as an actor that toolbox that you use, as you're doing that performance, would you say you approach it differently, or is it the same?
Sure. Yeah. I think, the way I approach, anything, you have to obviously take into account what it is what you're doing it for, whether you have to,
Sure.
calibrate your performance to something that's going to be on like network TV, like PD, even though when I did PD, I was like the villain or whatever. So there was more fun to be had. But sure, you take in mind, I mean, you approach the work and the same way, you ask questions and you learn your lines, obviously. And, you make specific choices, but sometimes the choices that you you know, that you can make for one thing aren't as big, so to speak, as something that you can make for another. So yeah, I mean, Derailed, you know, I was able to have fun with it, but at the same time, you know, I was able to have, you know, a similar amount of fun with PD. So yeah, I think the answer to your question is the approach is similar, but you have to know what you're, you know, the genre
The wheelhouse
that you're doing it for. Yeah. Yeah, the style essentially.
Gotcha. So to comment, you know, further on that, can you talk a bit about, you know, what that process was, you know, getting involved, you know, with that project? Was it, you know, just a matter of, you know, just learning about it and auditioning, or
For
did it
Derailed?
come out some other way?
For Derailed, you're talking about?
Yes. Yeah.
Derailed, yeah, I was brought into audition because I know, and I'm friends with one of the writers. We actually were doing a play at the same time. So he, you know, he thought I'd be interesting for the role of Clyde. So he sent me the script, and you know, I auditioned a couple times for the producers and director, and then that's how I got it. Everett, his name's Everett, who was also in the movie as one of the leads.
Gotcha.
Yeah. When my character gets the old axe to the neck or whatever, I don't know if that's a spoiler or not, but there it is. There was we had to do a big special effect rig where they were like pumping blood and you know, squirting out of my neck, and I was like drenched, like completely drenched at like 6 a.m, which that wasn't the most fun, but you know, you got to do what you got to do, and you know, it was a very, very cool experience. But that was one of the more challenging parts, you know, because we were shooting nights, so it was like a long day, and then you literally get soaked with blood. But you know, I showered after, and it was fun.
All right, cool, man. Well, aside from Derailed, are you able to, you know, comment about some of the other projects that that are, you know, happening now or still in the process of?
Yeah, I shot. It's I will always have trouble explaining what this is. It's a narrative video game, which is, I mean, it's, you know, it's not, we're not like animated or pixelated. It's basically, you know, live action people, but it's like what the guy who you know, created it, his name's Sam Barlow. He describes it as a desktop thriller. So you'll be able to play it on like Steam and stuff like that, you know, on your computer, on your smart device. But basically you're like watching video clips of a big narrative essentially, and you're trying to piece together this mystery. It's called Telling Lies. You can look it up. It's produced by Annapurna Interactive. It was actually at E3 a couple weeks ago, and it's got, you know, some pretty big names as the leads. So I had a part in that, which was a lot of fun. And that will be coming out, I think, either very soon or maybe in the third quarter, like the fall. So Telling Lies. Check that out.
All right, cool, man. Well, Ben, I really do appreciate you, you know, coming on and you know, talking Derailed and all the things that you have going, exciting stuff. Can you tell people where, you know, where they can find you?
Sure. Yeah, my Instagram is Champagne Hoppy, Hoppi, a la Champagne Poppy, but my last name is Hopkins, so Champagne Hoppy, Hoppi. Check me out on there.
Okay.
IG.
And Twitter, I'm assuming as well.
Twitter, yeah, I guess I do have a Twitter. I tweet less than I view, but my my Twitter handle is Beneficial, BEN official, OFFICIAL. Do you see what I did there? Beneficial.
Yeah, I see.
I locked that handle down a long time ago. I was able to snatch it up.
All right.
But yeah, I'm mostly on Instagram, so you can find me on there.
All right, man. Good stuff. Ben, again, thank you so much. I really do appreciate your time, and I look forward to, you know, all the other stuff that you have going, man.
Cool, man. Thanks so much.
All right.
All right, take care. Bye.